Good evening, everybody. It's a warm welcome and a warm very good afternoon from United Arab Emirates. And for many of you, I think it will be good morning and good evening and good night. So however it is, we love welcoming you all on this platform of International Internship Universities, world's first international internship university, inspiring, inventing, igniting young minds is the tagline as it goes, as you can see on the screen. Well, International Internship University is a leading virtual education system and a global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for quality training programs and is committed to be providing better and virtual education to all young learners of the group. So we celebrate education for all. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents across the globe. Under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit, sir, a committed and inspiring social activist, young person, young man, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds has been his vision. Thank you so much, Piyush, sir, for giving us this platform, this wonderful platform for sharing the best practices across the globe. So on that note, we would like to say today what's today's topic is about. It's about social quotient. So that's what we're going to see now. As you can see, I think my screen is visible. So let's go through this video and so that you will get to know. So on that note, we're going to start today's session. The dark spots are very small when compared to everything that we have in our lives, but they are the ones that pollute our minds. Take your eyes away from the black spots in your life and enjoy each and every one of your blessing and every moment that life has given you. So let's think together to understand this in a better way. So that's what is the success quotient is all about. It's a paradigm shift. And it starts from this day, this moment on this platform to look into oneself with an art of inner engineering that helping to deal with a lot of titrations and combination reactions to derive an exponential solution for life. And the solution is a combination formula of love, care, empathy, and congeniality structured by the bonds of will, grit, and determination to conclude with the uncut truth for us to come out as diamonds after being treated. So celebrate life to engage, explore, equip, empower, and evolve to develop IQ, intelligent quotient, EQ, emotional quotient, SQ, social quotient, and adversity quotient, that is AQ. So they all sum up together to form the social quotient for life. Since there are many competing challenges and doctrines in the field of psychology, and the study of psychology defines the intelligence in several different ways, but it's all in its doctrines and rooted to one, that is the social emotional quotient. So moving ahead, let's see how we normally react to this situation that we're going to see now. Across these situations in life, how do we react to them? How do we handle these situations? That is what is the thing that is going to really help us. So life is all about learning, adapting, and converting all experiences into a positive learning. So moving ahead, so let's see how to mold ourselves to accommodate and how to combat with all these challenges, to challenge these challenging situations such that we come out as the uncut truth. So this too shall pass. That's the stand that we need to take out. For any kind of stress, any kind of situation, any kind of testing our patient situation, which we come across in our life, let's take this paradigm of this too shall pass, and it will. As we have all faced the major havoc which the globe has faced, the COVID-19, and it has really helped us to think about handling our situations, handling our problems in a better way, with which came as a blessing in disguise, which has formulated life with a lot of titration combinations, and how we react to the situation, how to have a very stable and standardized mental ability to handle those situations. And this is what we have come across too. And the solution derived is a combination formula of love, care, and empathy and congeniality, structured by the bonds of will, grit, and determination, and resilience to conclude. This too shall pass for us to overcome as diamonds after being treated. So On that note, we move ahead and we are going to talk about what does psychology think about the social quotient, or otherwise the whole structure of social quotient. Thinking psychology as a trunk of a tree. Each branch that sprouts from the trunk find its roots in the same principles of nature and culture. But each branch takes a different parts into sunlight. That's knowledge and awareness that we are throwing out. We are throwing out our knowledge and awareness into the situation to handle those situations. This two-way process has its roots to different parts of the tree, from tree to the roots, again idealizes the human psychology and holistic intelligence process. It molds the humans to handle the situation and how and modify the way they react to them. The art of inner engineering help us to experience and embed with the outer world reality, radically stimulates those holistic intelligence that we come across in handling the situations that is needed for our holistic existence. The holistic intelligence, as viewed in many instances, or the intelligences that accepts, learns to respect the whole of reality, nature, and culture, that transcends the intelligence that defines the shapes of reality according to the needs of the future, that the evolutionary impulses and the dynamics that are involved into it, that brings in a change to transform and sustain. So moving ahead, how do we accommodate, how do we modify ourselves to the existing coexistence, the holistic intelligence that helps us with the coexistence? This state of giving, as we can see, this will modify the intellectual capacity. This will modify the inspirational capacity. This will modify our emotional capacity. This will modify our practical capacity. So this state of give and take as a customary, constitute a rostrum of coexistence that resonates and synergizes the process of well-being and the formula of success quotient. So we derive at the formula of success quotient with this state of art that we gain from handling the situations as taking into a customary and constitute as a rostrum of coexistence that resonates and synergizes the process of well-being and the formula of success quotient. During this process of the change and evolution, the development is multidimensional, and it calls us to deepen each of these four capacities of success formulas. Intellectuals with practical and technical expertise and experience are aware of the pros and cons of the sciences that are involved and its impact before jeopardizing the present. So they handle the situation, looking at the present, thinking about the future. That's what is actually meant here. Emotional quotient. Persons synchronize their legitimate prowess and situationally and operationally to ensure the wellness around. So emotionally balanced people, they come into the situation, they balance the situation, spearheading the whole process of getting things executed with the art of well-being taken care of. Inspiring individuals cohort enthusiasm and positivity into the reality to manage the task. Experts and leaders empower, energize, and engage the young people to take the lead. However, the success of this compendious success quotient formula depends on all the four implications as a holistic development into one, as its inertia in one capacity undermines the effectiveness of the remaining three. So how to nurture and guide our future generation to develop the success quotient with their IQ, EQ, SQ, and AQ that mature a holistic development of holistic intelligence. That's what we are going to see further. So end of the day, it's not how smart you are to handle the situation, how you are smart enough to handle the situation. So the hierarchy of human intelligences acts as social quotient, emotional quotient, IQ quotient, and proficient quotient. That is the physical quotient that we have imbibed in us. So the intelligent quotient summarizes as the ability to learn from, ability to react, ability to interact, ability to communicate, and ability to lead. So that's how it is defined as intelligence quotient is the total score derived from the set of standardized tests and subtests designed to access human intelligence. When we talk about Okay, let me just move this here. Sorry. Okay. When we talk about the IQs, the different IQs, the spiritual IQ is the one, the mental IQ is another one, emotional IQ is another one, the physical IQ and the moral IQ. All these 5 IQs, that is the intelligence quotient, put together, they help us to modify ourselves, our brains, and they help us to handle our brain in a better way. That is the unconscious, this, when you talk about the spiritual IQ, it is the unconscious roundabout beliefs that we believe in, and conscious quotient and the focus, and the question and the focus, whether the thing actually exists or not. So the questions which comes to us on the spiritual background, are we able to answer these questions? That helps us to develop the spiritual question, the spiritual IQ. Mental IQ is kind of growing up, that is selfish, without selfishness, with a common, on a common platform of care and share, with a cosmic mind of beneath the nurturing our abilities, and we are being successful in handling our problems or the challenges that we face across. So when it comes to the physical IQ, is our physical, mental, and the co-well-being is successfully patronizing or helping us in handling the situations. That's what is really coming forward. So such a well-developed intelligence quotient will not be reactive, but it will be proactive to handle the situation, with the ability to develop the measures that would catalyze the knowledge and its application, and have an overall development of cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domain. We're not going to go in detail about seeing about the cognitive, how to develop the cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domains. These comes with the domains that are domains and the intelligences that are involved in it. We are in general talking about the intelligence quotient that sums up the whole process of it. So once again, the intelligence quotient is a total score derived from a set of standardized tests or subtests designed to access this human intelligence. When it comes to the human intelligence, it covers as five vital IQs, that is a spiritual IQ, mental IQ, emotional IQ, physical IQ, and the moral IQ. So if we are capable enough, if we have the knowledge to handle it, do we have the emotional ability to handle the situation? Are we physically fit to handle the situation? Are we morally subtle and stable to handle the situation? So these are the things totally put together, develop the intelligence quotient of a person. So moving ahead, what is there in store for us? Apart from this intelligence quotient, there are other courses, other intelligence quotient that comes under, which helps in modifying the person. That is analytical skills that they develop, logical reasoning skills that they develop, the ability to relate multiple things, and the ability to store and retrieve information. All these things sums up to the intelligence quotient. When the IQ test checks up through this, various questions related to the reading comprehension, data interpretation, logical reasoning, verbal ability, virtual spatial reasoning, classification, analogies, and pattern detection. All these things put together in the formation of the intelligence quotient. Alongside intelligence quotient of a person capitalize on ability to handle a new or a changing environment with the capacity and the application of the knowledge acquired, and the ability to acquire the knowledge and the capacity for the reason to abstract and thought process, and the ability to comprehend relationships, and the ability to evaluate and judge the capacity for the original and productivity of thought. So all these things put together or frame out that gives us the framework or the skeleton of the intelligence quotient that is being involved in the process. So that's what is the whole thing intelligence quotient is all about. When we have the knowledge, when we have developed the intelligence quotient, what is the most thing which comes in the follow-up of the process is the emotional quotient. Emotional quotient is the intelligence to maintain the peace within inner engineering of a self and community living, the right of respect to self and others that will engrave a conducive and helpful environment built on the platform of respect, love, care, and compassion and empathy. This what sums up the emotional quotient. That means I think I'm rationally there, I feel I'm there, and information enters there, and you consolidate your position. You think that, okay, I'm going to have, I feel that I'm really there. So with that, we come across we manage to handle the emotional quotient that is being involved in the process. So when it comes to the elements of emotional quotient, it talks about, it handles the self-awareness, that is understanding the moods and emotions of a person, self-management, controlling over emotions and thinking before acting, that is the self-management. When it comes to the social awareness, developing a rapport with the new people, and relationship management, understands other emotions and treat them as they wish to be treated. So all these things together forms a cycle of emotional intelligence. That is self-awareness, understanding one's own moods and emotions in the first place, and self-management, controlling those emotions and thinking before acting or reacting. Social awareness, developing a rapport with the people who are involved in it, say that it doesn't affect the other people who are involved in the process, and the relation which cherishes, which nurture the relationship management with understanding the emotions and treated by them the way they wish to be treated. So these are the emotions, the elements that quantify the emotional quotient. So emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand the emotions in ourselves and others, and it is the ability to use this awareness to manage one's own behaviors and the relationships. So let's look across this video which is there to understand it much.
Do you have these 7 signs of emotional intelligence? We all know what an IQ is, and that most of us fall within the average range. We use names like smart, intelligent, dumb, idiot, and stupid when talking about a person's level of intelligence. What most people don't know is that we also possess an EQ, or EI, which is our level of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is difficult to measure in numbers because it is that thing inside us that recognizes emotions in ourselves and others, then guides us to respond. Understanding emotions may seem unimportant or trivial, but in fact it is the opposite. It is widely believed by experts that a person's level of emotional intelligence may be a better predictor of success and overall happiness than their IQ. What is emotional intelligence? Having a high level of emotional intelligence means that you can accurately express your feelings and take responsibility for them. People often say things like, "You hurt my feelings," and "you shouldn't have," which puts blame on the other person for the way you feel. A person with high EI realizes the feeling belongs to him and responds with statements such as, "I was hurt by that." Being emotionally intelligent means that you can identify and manage not only your own emotions, but the emotions of others too. It means you have awareness of your own feelings and are able to balance emotion and reason. You can recognize feelings and emotion in others and show empathy and compassion, which is a crucial part of all relationships, both business and personal. For example, a good leader has the ability to understand what motivates others and build on that motivation. 7 signs you are emotionally smart. Although emotional intelligence is not completely understood, it has become increasingly known that it plays a critical role in our quality of life. A person who is emotionally intelligent generally has better physical health, a more positive outlook, fulfilling relationships, and is more successful than those with low EI. 1. You can read nonverbal communication. This means you are able to look at someone and know by the look on their face, the way they hold their arms, their posture, or etc., and tell what their mood is. 2. You are interested in other people and their feelings and thoughts. When someone asks you, "What are you thinking about?" it shows their interest in understanding. Emotionally intelligent people want to know and understand others and genuinely listen to their answers. 3. You are emotionally resilient. Bad things happen in life. You lose a good job, your significant other moves on without you. You have setbacks and know there will be more coming. However, you also know you are strong enough to persevere until better times come. You do not internalize failure. 4. You know where you need improvement. People with low EI make the world believe they know everything and can do anything. When something goes wrong, they put the blame anywhere but on themselves. If you have a high EI, you know the areas in your life that need improvement. You are always learning and therefore always growing. 5. You are aware of your own feelings. You know how you are feeling, what caused the feeling, and how to process and deal with the feeling. Your feelings guide you towards finding a solution rather than shutting you down. 6. You avoid negative self-talk. When something does not go right, even if it was by your own mistake, you do not berate and belittle yourself. You are able to acknowledge what went wrong and explore your options for solving the problem, then move forward and do so. 7. You pursue success. You have dreams and strategies to make those dreams a reality. You set goals regardless of how long it takes you to meet each one. You deal with setbacks, adjust shortcomings, and know that the only way you will lose is if you quit. How many of these qualities do you possess? The good news is that unlike brain intelligence or IQ, emotional intelligence can be raised to some extent. Part of our EI is innate, part of it is shaped by our environment, and another part is our attitude. Are you willing to learn to understand and conquer your emotions? Are you interested in becoming a better problem solver? Do you want to achieve your goals? Developing your emotional intelligence allows you the opportunity to avoid miscommunications and misunderstandings. It deepens your relationships and helps you balance work, home, and fun in a meaningful way. Remember, the biggest determinant of success is measured by EQ, not IQ.
Hope you all will agree with me. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand the emotions in ourselves and others, and it is the ability to use this awareness to manage one's own behaviors and to manage the relationships. So the key competences that one has to develop emotional intelligence is that self-awareness, to know you much better, your emotional level, emotional awareness, your self-assessment, you being self-confident, gaining confidence, self-regulations with the self-control, trustworthiness, in developing relations, conscientiously working to the adaptability and innovativeness, self-motivation, self-evolution with a self-driven commitment with the initiative of optimism, empathy, and service orientation. Leveraging diversity means including each and every person that we come across in our life without any discrimination, with social skills, influencing, communication, social skills of influence, communication, leadership, change management, conflict management constitute an emotional quotient of a person. Sorry about it. Such a well-balanced, emotional poised person will be able to deliver the required thinking and analyzing from every single point of a person's point of view, aspect, and the welfare that is involved in this process. So moving ahead, when we have talked about intelligence quotient that one has to develop the emotional quotient, and the third is when you get on to implementing or executing things, what you should be aware of, that you are a social animal. You are not the only person, or your family is not the only person, your kith and kin is not the only person who is involved in this process. There's a community along with you who is involved in this process. So what we need to become a transformed, seasoned social animal. How to develop this? That's the intelligence. This social quotient is the intelligence that help us to develop and transform us into a seasoned social animal. The intelligence to build a network of friends and cherish relationships that will nurture culture and citizenship, accepting every differences that are involved in this to live in harmony with the nature. So how to develop this? The 5 ways to develop social intelligence is that make an effort to put yourself in other person's shoes. Understand the problem what others are facing, and please make yourself to put in their shoes. Read invisible interconnections in their social apparatus. So they may not be able to express, or they may not express everything to you, but be a kind person to understand it from their point of view. Be a kind person who is able to read their problems. So learn to interpret the non-verbal behaviors. So everybody will not be able to come and say or express their problems towards you. But in that case, you should be a socially well-balanced person who is able to understand it from their point of view. Keep a track of how they are feeling, how they're comfortable they are feeling, how well they are able to interact with you, how your behavior is able to influence them. So approach their interpersonal interactions and the receptiveness. So whether they are able to accommodate all those things that you are able to convey, whether they are happy in being with you, or whether they're happy with the consent, or whether they're happy with the context that we are delivering. So be aware of exactly all these points which are being involved in it in developing a social quotient. So how to do that? Let's see now.
One of the more puzzling aspects of the way we're built is that our emotional development does not necessarily or automatically keep pace with our physical growth. We can be 55 on the outside and 4.5 in terms of our impulses and manner of communicating, just as we can be on the threshold of adulthood physically while an emotional sage within. In order to assess our own and others' emotional development, we can make use of a single, deceptively simple question that quickly gets to the core of our underlying emotional age. When someone on whom we depend emotionally lets us down, disappoints us, or leaves us hanging and uncertain, what is our characteristic way of responding? There are 3 methods which indicate emotionally immature behaviour. We might grade ourselves on a scale of 1 to 10 according to our propensities. Firstly, we might sulk. That is, we simultaneously get very upset while refusing to explain to the person who has upset us what the problem might actually be. The insult to our pride and dignity feels too great. We are too internally fragile to reveal that we've been knocked. We hope against hope that another person might simply magically understand what they've done and fix it without us needing to speak. Rather, as an infant who hasn't yet mastered language might have a hope that a parent would spontaneously enter their minds and just guess what was ailing them. Secondly, we might get furious. Another response is to get extremely and disproportionately angry with the disappointing person. Our fury may look powerful, but no one who felt powerful would have any need for such titanic rage. Inside, we feel broken, at sea, and bereft. But our only way of reasserting control is to mimic an aggrieved emperor or taunted tiger. Our insults and viciousness are, in their coded ways, admissions of terror and defenselessness. Our pain is profoundly poignant, our manner of dealing with it a good deal sadder. Thirdly, we might go cold. It takes a lot of courage to admit to someone who's hurt us that we care, that they have a power over us, that a key bit of our life is in their hands. It may be a lot easier to put up a strenuous wall of indifference. At precisely the moment when we are most emotionally vulnerable to a loved one's behaviour, we insist that we haven't noticed a slight and wouldn't give a damn anyway. We may not simply be pretending. Remaining in touch with our wounds may have become conclusively intolerable. Not feeling anything may have replaced the enormous threat of being fully alive. These 3 responses point us in turn to the 3 markers of emotional maturity. Firstly, the capacity to explain. That is, the power, simple to describe but a proper accomplishment in practice, to explain why we are upset to the person who's upset us, to have faith that we can find the words, that we are not pathetic or wretched for suffering in a given way, and that, with a bit of luck, we will find the words to make ourselves understood by someone whom we can remember deep down, even at this moment of stress, is not our enemy. Secondly, the capacity to stay calm. The mature person knows that robust self-assertion is always an option down the line. This gives them the confidence not to need to shout immediately, to give others the benefit of every doubt, and not to assume the worst and then hit back with undue force. The mature like themselves enough not to suspect that everyone would have a good reason to mock and slander them. Thirdly, the capacity to be vulnerable. The mature know and have made their peace with the idea that being close to anyone will open them up to being hurt. They feel enough inward strength to possess a tolerable relationship with their own weakness. They are unembarrassed enough by their emotional nakedness to tell even the person who has apparently humiliated them that they are in need of help. They trust, ultimately, that there is nothing wrong with their tears and that they have the right to find someone who will know how to bear them. In turn, these three traits belong to what we can call the three cardinal virtues of emotional maturity: communication, trust, and vulnerability. These three virtues were either gifted to us during a warm and nourishing childhood, or else we will need to learn them arduously as adults. This is akin to the difference between growing up speaking a foreign language and having to learn it over many months as an adult. However, the comparison at least gives us an impression of the scale of the challenge ahead of us. There is nothing to be ashamed of about our possible present ignorance. At least half of us weren't brought up in the land of emotional literacy. We may just never have heard adults around us speaking an emotionally mature dialect. So we may, despite our age, need to go right back to school and spend 5,000 to 10,000 hours learning, with great patience and faith, the beautiful and complex grammar of the language of emotional adulthood.
Yeah, now I think it should work out. Yes. The social quotient is the ability of a person. Okay. There we are. Is the ability of a person to tune into others' emotion and read the subtle behavior clues to choose the most effective response in a given situation. It is the ability to recognize others' emotion to show the empathy that enables one to have a positive relationship and minimize unproductive conflicts. In order to excel in the various roles that we play, be that of a beloved spouse, parent, friend, manager, marketer, teacher, leader, etc., it is important to have the insight into how emotions work and the skill to observe someone's nonverbal behavior. It is not some talent that you're born with. It is a skill that can be learned, practiced, and mastered. So when you develop the social quotient, what is very important? Demonstrating empathy and connecting and communicating. This is what is very, very important. Do be the understanding without necessarily agreeing to it. So when in your behaviors, when we behave with others, though we may not agree with multiple situations, but we need not react to those situations openly, such that it tends to hurt the other person involved. Use words and gestures to show that you always care for them, and don't offer advice or judgment and tell them how do you feel. And when we meet them, please meet them and where they are from. It's not that when we communicate, we always put ourselves in the front. It always the way that they are with us, welcome them with an open hand, such that they're very comfortable and such that you are able to influence their thought process with your sweet smile on your face. Watch their nonverbal clues that they're communicating, whether they're comfortable in your reaction, in your behavior, your rapport, in developing rapport with you, or in welcoming your connection. Prepare them for a negative information as well. So during the conversation, as sometimes we may not be agreeing with each and everything that we come across. In that case also, prepare the other person such that we may not be agreeing on such a situation. So in that case, how to react with them, how to overcome the situation, that involves or that makes you a socially intelligent person, because social intelligence will be our future. The reason is very simple. Every interpersonal interaction has an emotional subtext to it. And the most of the emotional undertone gets manifested less through words, more through non-verbal communication or the behaviors like gestures, expression, postures, vocal cues, or for that matter, the way one shapes up one's personal environment as well. as charity begins at home. Shaping one's own social quotient is the key to success prior to administer any change in the society. That means the change begins with us in adapting to the situation, in accepting people with what they are, with the processes, instead of just imposing our views upon them. Even if that is a point of discrimination, if that is a point of non-acceptance, doesn't matter. We should know how to handle the situation, understand it from the other person's point of view, understand it from the comfortability, what is involved in the process, understand it from and react to the situation, making them very comfortable with the person that you are. So let them not love you for the word that you do. Let them love you for the person that you are with them. So that involves the social emotion. That involves the process of developing social intelligence. And here we go ahead, moving ahead. We have got one more share with you. Too many videos, sorry, they're short. So I thought it's easy for you to just go through it.
Emotional intelligence refers to the ability to recognize, interpret, and process emotions in yourself and others. While genetics, upbringing, and environment all play a role, there are steps you can take to develop your emotional intelligence over time. Get to know yourself. Emotionally intelligent people are self-aware. They have a realistic appreciation of their strengths and weaknesses and how they come across to others. Peer feedback is one way of improving your self-awareness and may uncover a few of your emotional blind spots. Learn your triggers. Linked to the notion of self-awareness is knowing how you are likely to respond in particular situations. Think about how you felt the last time you were under pressure. Did these feelings help or hinder you? Recognizing emotions and the source of these emotions can shift your emotional state. Empathize. Seeing things from someone else's perspective will help you understand their values and beliefs. This is important when it comes to motivating and engaging others. Make a conscious effort to get to know your colleagues. Ask open questions and actively listen to what they have to say, rather than simply waiting for your turn to speak. Be on the lookout for body language and other non-verbal signs, as these may tell you more than someone is willing to express out loud. Own your emotions. Part of being emotionally intelligent is about taking responsibility for the way you interact with others. If someone upsets you, pause and reflect on why their actions led you to feel this way, instead of reacting impulsively. Recognize that a conversation is a two-way interaction, and it takes two people to make you angry, sad, or frustrated. Go with your gut. Finally, listen to your body. If your stomach starts doing backflips every time you speak to a senior manager, or your muscles tense up before you go into a meeting, what does this tell you? Counterintuitive as it might seem, emotions can be a valuable source of information when making rational decisions at work. Remember, emotional intelligence isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about learning how to recognize, process, and channel them in a way that benefits you and your team. Enhancing your emotional intelligence requires effort, but it can be achieved with sustained practice.
Well, so with that, we have come across how to develop, how the emotional intelligence contribute to the social quotient, in developing the social quotient. So we should be aware of exactly our society where we are involved in it. So when we come across into this, when we are not able, we are on a disagreeable term with a particular situation, when we are not able to handle the situation, the development or the culmination of adversity quotient, how to develop the adversity quotient, how to handle those adversities in life, that helps us to achieve the social quotient. So adversity quotient is the intelligence to move out of the comfort zone, embrace the challenges that we come across with well embedded level headedness, which is coupled with the realm of treating hardships, disappointments, failures, and successes as learning experience. So, science of AQ is what this picture is all about. And AQ definition is tools to ascent. Now, the theory of effectiveness and a valid measure. So, all these three sums up into a triangle, and the vertices of the triangle, make sure the vertices of the triangle are closed such that you're able to achieve your adversity quotient. The science of adversity quotient is about reacting to a situation with a limited external within control, but being very much into the control. One's response to the adversity can influence the level of internal social emotional quotient. It will affect the emotional intelligence as well, as we are not able to put up with us or challenge our challenges or to manage the situations. In that case, our subconscious mind feels that we are giving up or we are in the process of losing. So in that case, our activity or our skill of adversity quotient in developing the adversity quotient helps us to come out of those situations, brings us into the control such that we are able to handle our hardships in such a way with a well-balanced mind. So adversity quotient is a composition of the resilience, and the prime ability helps us to bounce back as we find it as a silver lining with a hopeful future. That is, it's not that we always fall down. How many times we come up, how many times we raise ourselves according to the situation, according to the standards, is the one which defines us or which sums up the whole adversity quotient. The first aspect of resilience is that we look at it gaining a positive and accurate perspective. Another trait of people with high adversity quotient is that having high endurance capacity to put up with, not giving up at all, come what may, which is closely linked with the perception of adversity's temporariness with the hope of this too shall pass. So what we are going to think about when we come across adversities is that this too shall pass. That's the paradigm shift. That's the change mindset that we are going to have in handling these situations. In a forest, a pregnant deer is about to give birth. She finds it a remote grass field near a strong river. This seems a safe place. Suddenly, a labor pain begins. At the same moment, dark clouds gather around about the lightning starts and a forest fire. She looks to her left and sees a hunter with a bow extending, pointing at her. To her right, she spots a hungry lion approaching her. What can the pregnant deer do? What will happen to the deer? Will the deer survive? Will she give birth to a fawn? Will the fawn survive after its birth? Or will everything be burned in the forest fire? Will she perish to the hunter's arrow? Will she die of a horrible death at the hands of the hungry lion that's approaching? She is constrained by the fire on one side and the fighting, flowing river on the other, and boxed in by the nature. What does she do? She focuses on giving birth to a new life. Now the miracle takes place. Lightning strikes and blinds the hunter. He releases the arrow, which zips past the deer and strikes the hungry lion. It starts to rain heavily, and the forest fire is slowed doused, and by the grace of God, and she is saved. And the deer gives birth to a healthy fawn. So in our life too, there are moments of choice when we are confronted on all the sides with negative thoughts and possibilities. Some thoughts are so powerful that they overcome and overwhelm us with a negativeness. Maybe we learn from this deer. The priority of the deer in that given moment was simply to give birth to a fawn, to a healthy fawn, and the rest of the things she has left to the hands of God for any reaction of the reaction. So that's how it resulted to the birth of a new life. So where is the focus? Where is going to be our focus? Where is your faith? Where is your hope in handling those situations? In the mind of a storm, do keep faith on our Creator, and He will never disappoint you. Never, never disappoint you. And that's how the pragmatic deer story helps us to be focused in exactly the situation that we are, understanding the threats that we are coming across, but we should never lose our focus. We should not be threatened by the threats that are surrounded us. That is, we should never be influenced by the external factors that are threatening us, but we should always keep the focus on the task that we are assigned to do, and we keep doing the task, and that determines the adversity quotient of the person, in which the person develops into, with all the intelligence quotient, social quotient, emotional quotient, and adversity quotient, he turns out to be a beautiful social animal. The experiences are proved. People with high adversity quotients are the ones who adapt to the drastic changes in the organization, such as the management change, such as cost-cutting measures, or being assigned or with heavier work. It does not mean that they sacrifice the personal well-being for the sake of grit. They make sure that they deliver the results or the goods first before negotiating the terms later. So with the story of the deer, the pragmatic deer, definitely we are here to sum it up that we will come across the challenges, we will face life as it is. When we become an intelligent quotient person with the intelligence quotient, person who has developed the emotional quotient in ascertaining ourselves with the art of inner engineering, and being a very close social clubbable animal who is welcomed by the society, and we will be able to handle all our tasks together. So with that, we need to frame our idea, our action, and our plan. So there we are. So with this new paradigm, if we can build an agile situation, who will be able to face life as it comes, we will be able to deliver a purposeful education, as educating minds without educating the hearts is a futile education. So we need to educate the hearts first before educating our minds. So let's help our friends and privileges to make the better world a better place to live in.
Shoulder to shoulder, take off your backpacks. Basketball, line up, we're about to race. Hey, we are racing for a $100 bill. The winner of this race will take this, a $100 bill. Before I say go, I'm going to make a couple statements. If those statements apply to you, I want you to take 2 steps forward. If those statements don't apply to you, I want you to stay right where you're at. Take 2 steps forward if both of your parents are still married. Take 2 steps forward if you grew up with a father figure in the home. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a private education. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a free tutor growing up. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to worry about your cell phone being shut off. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to help mom or dad with the bills. Take 2 steps forward if it wasn't because of your athletic ability. You don't have to pay for college. Take 2 steps forward if you never wondered where your next meal was going to come from. I want you guys up here in the front just to turn around and look. Every statement I've made has nothing to do with anything any of you have done. Has nothing to do with decisions you've made. Everything I've said has nothing to do with what you've done. We all know these people up here have a better opportunity to win this $100. Does that mean these people back here can't race? No. We would be foolish to not realize we've been given more opportunity. We don't want to recognize that we've been given a head start. But the reality is we have. Now, there's no excuse. They still got to run their race. You still got to run your race. But whoever wins this $100, I think it'd be extremely foolish of you not to utilize that and learn more about somebody else's story. Because the reality is, if this was a fair race and everybody was back on that line, I guarantee you some of these black dudes would smoke all of you. And it's only because you have this big of a head start that you're possibly going to win this race called life. That is a picture of life, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing you've done has put you in the lead that you're in right now. When I say go, on your mark, get set, go!
So what did we learn from that particular video? Life is a game. It's a race. Everybody is running. So we have to understand each and everyone's problem. Not everybody has the same problem. So when we come across, we should understand ourselves first. We should understand our abilities, our capacities to handle those situations, how to react to those situations in which that we are involved in it, how to, we should understand our society, who we are working with, the people that we are working with, and how to come across together as a person, as a society, as a community to put up and challenge those challenges, think in unison, think with unity involved in it, such that we are able to combat those challenges in a better way. So the best way to destiny is to create it. When you create your destiny, you strive and you dive for it. And the destiny is such that it's a wonderful tapestry in which everything is a thread, guided by a tender hand, placed behind with another thread, held hand in hand and carried by hundreds of people who are involved in it. And that's what this life is all about. So I have a audio problem, but still, if you want me to really play this video, I can go ahead with that. Let me try. So hope you all will agree with me. The best way to create your destiny is that the best way to destiny is you create your own destiny. So you take the responsibility of your own actions, of your own reactions, and of all the pros and cons that are involved in it. So that's how we develop the holistic view of the social emotional intelligence. As seen in the story and its conclusion, our life has been a beautiful string of moments created, enjoyed, and experienced with others that makes the world run. Every single step, a big leap to fly high. By the mind, but by mindfully, we become aware of actively doing things they call us to, and we began to steer our ship towards passionate projects and involve people and the places that are true to our inner compass, and say that every moment is so dear to steer every opportunity near. So in the due course of the action, what happens? Let's relate to this realistic pictographic illustration of the human mind of Vikram and Beta. He is an Indian king, and this is a Betal, which it's a story. It's a story of Panchatantra, which people are very well aware of, and people from India, basically, they know these stories very well. As we are all aware, this is an imaginative illustration that happened only during nights when Raja Vikram used to stroll in the forest. Now, what happened in this, that these situational incidents, every day this Betal used to come and sit on, every night Raja used to go on rounds to his around his country to see the welfare of the people. Every night the Betal used to come and hang on his shoulder and give him the thought process of exactly what happened in that day and what all problems that he came across and what he should have done in those situations, how he should have reacted in those situations, and if he would have been a successful king, what he should have done and what all follies he did, and he will definitely appreciate him for all the goodness he did and also criticize him for all the follies that he did. So the critic was himself, the Betal himself. But coincidentally, the situational incidences and the question raised by Betal were not only thought-provoking. He didn't question. He used to question the king for his action. But those questions or the situational incidences raised by Betal were not only thought-provoking, but critically and crucially challenging those challenges and asking him, if not this, what you could have done. So the analytical thought process of leading to pragmatic solutions helped the Maharaja Vikram to become a wise leader. But why not we think about such a situation where the Betal is none other than the King Vikram himself? In that case, his inner soul and the thoughts that are alerting him to find more suitable and more compatible situations. Yes, we agree with this situation, saying that if it is such a case, if the thought process or the thing that the king is undergoing, if the Betal is actually his own thought process of analyzing the situations of the reactions of the day's reaction or how he was reacting to those situations, is it not too heavy for the Betal for the king to carry the Betal all the time? Is it not heavy for the king to carry the Betal when he's going on the tour to take care of the welfare of the people? Is it not difficult for the king to put up with the craziness of the Betal, that is his own mind, to look into those situations? Is it not too awkward for Raja Vikram to get exposed of his weaknesses in the name of Betal? If we are going through this, when we do this, when we carry forward this into the situation, what is really stopping us is it is always good to have a review of your inner soul and your inner mind. But to carry the negative thoughts with you is something that we need to give up. We should never carry forward the negativeness along with us through and through. Even if it is your own thoughts, it's your own thoughts which are coming up, your own activities that you're going back and chewing the cud, you're thinking about yourself, you're thinking about your reactions, you're thinking about your own influences, that is the external factors that influence the situation, but still, it is too heavy for the king to carry the Betal all the time. That means it is too heavy for the king to carry forward the negativeness along. So it will inflict the positivity that is coming into your stride. So better way to handle is that to keep the betal away, to keep the negativeness away. It is always too good to have to go back and review your actions, but not the negative feelings. So when you're your own friend, when you think about the happiness and the peace that we just inflict upon the place that we live in. So in that case, why are we carrying forward this negativity to the community or to the society or to the people that we are moving with? If we have a problem, when you have a solution for it, when you know that this is a solution, why not we go ahead and resolve the solution? And when you have a problem, and when you're not able to resolve the problem, when you're stuck up with the problem, when you're not able to find a solution, then why you crib on having the problem? Just move ahead, go ahead. The time will decide. Time is the best healer. Timely effort will make things easier, and it will handle the things in a better way. So whatever adversities, whatever emotionally challenged that we should not carry forward the negativity. Always be positive, make the life as it comes, enjoy the life as it comes. So from now, we are going to see how best we can make our lives more easier, happier, and peaceful. So as early as possible, put the glass down. Don't hold on to it. So it makes your things easier, and the life, not only for yourself, it makes the life of others also easier. These are the different ways that we can just modify ourselves to handle the situations, A to Z of handling stress.
This is the A to Z of ideas and ways to help you cope. A is for activity. Be active, move, do more of the things you enjoy. B, breathe. Take deep breaths in and long, slow breaths out. Count to 10, then start again. C is for create. Find creative ways to express yourself. What other ways are there to be creative? D, distract yourself. If you are in crisis and need to stay safe, try to distract yourself by keeping busy. For example, watch TV, play a game, or read a book. When you feel calmer, you'll be more able to tackle the distressing thoughts and feelings. E is for exercise. Get moving. Run around or do some sport, go to the park or playground and have some fun. F, friends and family. Friends and family are important. Spend time with the people that make you feel happy. G is for goal setting. Break tasks down into small steps. Focus on one at a time. H is for helpline. Call Childline. If you feel you can't speak to a parent or teacher, they will listen and offer you help. I is for ice. Cool down, have an ice cream or a cold shower to lower your temperature to help keep your body and mind calm. J, joke. Find something to make you laugh. K, keep a scrapbook of the places you have been and things you have done. It will remind you of happy times and of your achievements, things to be proud of and feel good about. L, list 3 things you can hear, 3 things you can see, 3 things you can touch. This will help you to focus your mind on the present moment, the here and now. M is for music. Listen to your favourite music. N is for nurture. Look after yourself by making sure you eat and drink. O, organise. Do one thing at a time. Tick things off a list so you can see how much you are getting done. P is for pets. Spend time looking after and playing with an animal. They are great for cuddles. Q, quiet time. Keep things calm and peaceful around you. R, relax. It's important and okay to take a break. How do you like to chill out? S is for support networks. Who's around you that you can lean on for support? Friends, family, teachers, youth clubs, helplines? T, try something new. Try an activity or hobby you haven't done before. You might find something you enjoy and are good at. U, use your talent and strengths. Focus on what you do well and do more of it. This will build your confidence. V is for visualize. Picture your calm or happy place. Maybe you could draw it and put it somewhere to help you focus on other thoughts and images. W, write it down. Keep a diary or blog. Get it out of your mind and onto paper. X is for Xbox. It's okay to have downtime and have fun. Y, you can do it. Positive self-talk can help you believe in yourself. Well done, keep going. Z, sleep on it. Sometimes things feel better when we have a good night's sleep. If you want to find out more, get in touch with Hampshire CAMHS and visit hampshirecams.nhs.uk.
So, hope you all will agree with me that A to Z of handling life, better way that we can make our life a better place to live in. This is also a beautiful presentation, which I feel that I didn't want to miss it actually. So if time permits that we can just have a look at it. So this is for corporate, being in a corporate situation in your office, how you can handle that.
Are you scared?
Devil without a cause, and I'm back with the beaver hats and Ben Davis slacks. 30-pack of stroll, 30-pack of no Rogaine in the propane flows. The chosen one, half the living proof with the gift.
So this is what is the 80%, 80-20% that normally the people talk about. So 80% of the outcome is based on the inputs, your inputs. Even the 20% of the input that you put across will reflect on the 80% of the income, of the outcome. So always try to be balanced in life such that we are able to handle it. You should know yourself first, talking about it, how well you should be able to handle, how well you can equip yourself. As it all, charity begins at home, it all starts within you. Correct yourself as a best person with who has become a clubbable animal for being a social animal, such that you're able to do things better. So the last presentation of today is that how to handle it in everyday life. Done with that. So on that note, we are here to thank us for giving us this wonderful opportunity of being together on this platform to share our thoughts, our insights, and be very thankful. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much.